I'm going to open a Betrayers of Kamigawa pack. Okay, so gonna put the commons up first. So that's Kami of Tattered Shochi. It's a 5-drop 2/5. A creature, a spirit. Of course, Kamigawa is full of spirits and humans, but it's got a ton of spirits. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, this card gains flying. So it can become a flyer. That's pretty good. 5/5, definitely a common. Torrent of Stone is a 4-drop arcane instant. It deals 4 damage to target creature. That's pretty cool. And it does splice onto arcane. Then you've got Ninja of the Deep Hours, a 4-drop creature with ninjutsu, which means return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card into play from your hand, tapped and attacking. Seems like a defensive ability. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. That's very useful. Although it is a 4/2/2. That's a little heavy, which is typical of the Kamigawa block. Commons. Child of Thorns. It's a 1/1/1. Very nice. If you sacrifice it, target creature gets +1/+1. That's pretty good. At least it doesn't force you to sacrifice it. Then you've got a Rat Ninja. I love the rats. Skull Snatcher, a 2/2/1 with ninjutsu. Again, if you play one swamp, you can return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. It's got a little bit like a regenerate type of ability. It's a little different. And then when a player deals combat damage, when this card deals combat damage to a player, remove up to 2 target cards in that player's graveyard from the game. That can be useful. Moonlit Strider is a 4-drop 1/4. It's almost a wall. If you sacrifice it, the target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Yet again, another defensive ability. And it's got Soul Shift 3. When this is put into a graveyard from play, you may return target spirit card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Then we've got Tarashi's Grasp is a 3-drop sorcery arcane. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's nice. And you gain life equal to its converted mana cost. That's also very nice. I would see this as a playable common. I mean, it's still a 3-drop, but it's got the arcane also. So you could actually add something to it. Then we've got Aki Blizzard Herder, a 2-drop 1/1, a goblin in red. When it's put into a graveyard from play, each player sacrifices a land. Each player. That doesn't look good. That'd be great in a Commander multiplayer game, of course, because then you lose 1 land, but a bunch of your opponents also lose a land. Then Minamo's Meddling is a 4-drop instant, a counter spell. That spell's controller reveals his or her hand, then discards each card with the same name as a card spliced onto that spell. Clearly a block ability unless you want to play a bunch of, you want to be in an environment where everybody's playing. Yeah, it really is a block card. Uproot is a 4-drop arcane sorcery. Put target land on top of its owner's library. That could slow your opponent down. That's pretty good, especially to do it in green. Then we've got Stir the Grave. It's a black sorcery with X swamp. I always like it when it's X and a very light cost, like a 1 CMC. Return target creature card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to play. So it's kind of like a Disentomb. With Disentomb, you just play 1 and you can get any creature card. But in this case, you have to pay a little bit of a tax. It doesn't seem as playable. Running War Club is a 3-drop Artifact equipment, uncommon with a 5 equip. That is very, very heavy. And all the equipped creature gets is +2/+1. Whenever a creature comes into play under your control, attach this card to that creature. Okay, so that's a nice trigger because then you don't have to play that equip cost, which is, I think, prohibitive. Okay, so then we're down to the last 2 uncommon. Genju of the Cedars is a 1-drop Enchanted Forest. And for 2 more, Enchanted Forest becomes a 4/4 green spirit creature until end of turn. It's still a land. That isn't bad. I mean, if you're paying a total of 3 for 4/4. When Enchanted Forest is put into a graveyard, you may return this card from your graveyard to your hand. That also seems very cool. It's got that rancor-like ability. It always comes back to your hand, or most of the time. Scourge of Numai is a 4/4/4. That's clean. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life if you don't control an ogre. So that's a limitation. That doesn't seem that great, frankly. And then let's see what the rare is. The rare is Disrupting Shoal. And it's an instant arcane. And it's X and 2 blue. You may remove a blue card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game rather than pay Disrupting Shoal's mana cost. Counter target spell if its converted mana cost is X. Very specific. It does read like a junk rare.